What happens when you finish the graduate scheme in a consulting firm and then get promoted for the first time? Salary, expectations, work-life balance. We're gonna talk about all those things today. If you're new here, hi, I'm Anastasia. I'm 26 years old. I'm based in London and I work in a Big Four consulting firm, and I was recently promoted from analyst on the graduate scheme to consultant. It's been a few months now, so I have a lot to say about how things change when you get that first promotion, and I just want to share my experience. So thing number one that changed is, of course, the salary, and it was such a welcome change because people go to a Big Four firm or a large consulting firm to get the experience, get the training, get the connections, but it might not be the best place to optimize for salary. If you look up on Glassdoor, those tend to be pretty accurate if you want to have a figure in mind. Thing number two that changed is responsibility, and that's a natural progression of things. But I did feel that it was quite a jump, not necessarily in a bad way, but I do think that even your title just changing from analyst to consultant on teams signals to people that you can handle things yourself independently, you know how things work. For example, as an analyst, I would be helping out anyone, anywhere in the team, just doing supportive things like slides. But as a consultant, your responsibility changes to something like you can handle a work stream by yourself, you can lead on a piece of work, you can own something that you're going to hand over to client. It does feel like a step up for sure. I think it's a step up, of course, with every grade, but with this one in particular, you kind of feel like people trust you much more. And that leads me to point number three, which is the trust and quality checks. So trust increases, quality checks decrease, and it's on you now to really check your work, because you won't have as many layers of people kind of in detail looking at what you've done before it's sent to the client. Whereas before, you kind of didn't have that responsibility on your shoulders of, this is the final version. Next one is my favorite, work-life balance and working hours. I was kind of dreading what it's going to be like, because I do feel that with every salary increase or with every promotion, you are expected to give that much more. And that is a bit of a challenging thought when, as an analyst, as a completely entry point person, you're already giving so much more than 9 to 5. Me, as someone who really cares about well-being and work-life balance, I feel so strongly about it. I wasn't sure how things would work as a consultant and whether people would just expect me to automatically work more and stay later, and if a crisis happens, I should be there. And I think the answer to this is twofold. One is, yes, I do think that is expected. It kind of goes hand in hand with salary, because people kind of think that, well, you're paid a bit more, therefore you're kind of compensated for that much more variation in your hours and unpredictability. That's one side of things, and it's not so rosy. I think the other side is that you've probably now been at the firm for 2 years, as I have, 2 years and a few months, and I have become even firmer with how I introduce myself and set the boundaries at the very beginning of a project. It has become even more important for me to now call out at the very start that here are my non-negotiables in a week, and I really try and stick to them and keep my commitments. Work-life balance is very important to me. I show up as my best if I can keep my personal life going and not sacrifice that. I do think, having had very different experiences and projects in terms of well-being and how people manage you, how they take care of you or not, you do kind of build up the skill of really standing up for yourself where it matters. So I really hope that with the step up to consultant, even though the expectations increase, I also hope that my skills in handling those have increased. Next one is specialism and the type of work you do. I have noticed that at consultant level, and it's something called out even in talent reviews, you are expected more so to kind of start niching down and upskilling in particular areas so that people know you as a go-to person for something. For me, that's become culture, and I'm so happy about that because I really love culture work. And I'm also trying to add leadership onto that. Those are the two areas I really enjoy. So it's been a conscious effort on my part to firstly network with people as much as I can in a very informal way, just to maintain the connections that I've built through the work that I've done in culture and in leadership. And then when people come to me with questions, I can speak from my experience on the projects that I've done. Final thing is the way you find your project. As an analyst, you come in fresh and people don't know what it's like to work with you, what your style is, what your quality is. So once you've done that for a bit, hopefully your reputation will start working for you. And if you've done good work before, if you've clicked with some people, they will eventually come back to you for more work. And my experience has been that it's not been happening a ton in terms of actually materializing, just because someone might have a project for me that they would like me on, but then by that time my timings have shifted, I'm already staffed on something else. So it's difficult to make that whole scheduling thing work. But in terms of people actually wanting to work with you again, that does start to happen, and it's very nice because I know that as an analyst, it was a lot of effort to kind of prove to people that you're nice to work with. So I think now it does tend to happen more that someone mentions that, oh, I've worked with them before, they were actually great, highly recommend them. To end on a high, that's another thing that started happening, and I'm very, very happy about that. But yeah, if you're in a similar situation, if you were just promoted, you're about to be, let me know your thoughts. Let me know any other topics you want me to cover, and I'll speak with you in the next one. Bye.